cancer, and the rest. Autism, for this class and for those who probably want to write something, in the event you might find yourself discussing it later, autism is purely a neurological and developmental disorder. I'll take that definition again. It is purely a neurological as well as a developmental disorder. And what this disorder does is that it affects mostly toddlers, children, and adolescents. It affects how they interact with other people. This disorder affects how they communicate with other people, how they learn in the classroom, and how they behave in the environment or at home. So today's topic will really help us as parents to check, because so many parents, especially here in our third world, find it extremely difficult to understand that a child with autism is special, more or less. It's special. It's not somebody you begin to bamboozle with all manner of drugs. So today's lecture is really going to help us understand what this autism or autism spectrum disorder is all about. Moving forward, I want to let all of us understand that autism is a neurodivergent. Neurodivergent, what it means in essence that because this condition is neuron-based, thank God for our Super Life product that we have our neuron care. So even from the onset, we can see the drift as to where Super Life can really come in with autism. Now, because it's the neuron disorder, it's a neuronic disorder that makes a section of the brain either performing excellently well or performing poorly. You now find most autistic patients being neurodivergent in the sense that that section of the brain that is active, you find such a student, such a child performing excellently well if that particular section of the brain has to be utilized. Then you now find that same child performing poorly if any other section of the brain has to be utilized. So you find autistic children being neurodivergent. Apart from that, the word spectrum that is attached to autism is that it is difficult to pinpoint where the challenge is coming from in autism. It's really difficult to pinpoint. That's why medical personnel added spectrum. Why? Because there are divergent reasons why a child can become autistic. And because of this divergence, you find these children having a wide range of personality traits, sometimes strengths, sometimes challenges, sometimes weakness. So because of this broad spectrum. So just like I said earlier, there are some areas of the brain that allows the child to perform excellently well while performing poorly in other areas. Now, it is because of this broad spectrum that has made medical personnel in the past have difficulty in diagnosing this condition. And from a study, we observed that early forms of behavioral therapy ended up using very strict methods. Today, medical personnel don't use those strict methods. Why? Because they've come to an understanding that autism is a special condition associated with children that are special. Now, how common is ASD? That's Autism Spectrum Disorder. We're going to look at the global scale in today's lecture. And if you look at the map before you, you're going to see clearly that in the United States, for instance, 1 out of every 36 kids have autism or is autistic. We got this data from the US Survey on Autism 2020 report. Now, if you look at this same map, you are going to see clearly that the whole of US, Europe, Asia are bedeviled with this condition, with very few in South America. If you look at the map of Africa, it shows clearly or looks as if we do not have autism in Africa. Well, that is because of underreporting. We do have autism in Africa, though the prevalence is low. Let's look at the prevalence survey in Nigeria for autism. Hello, can you all hear me clearly? Hello? Am I being followed?
Yes.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, if we look at the survey that was done here in Nigeria, and let's take two regions, for instance, northern Nigeria, it was found out clearly that the prevalence of autism is 1 in 43.5. That's 1 out of every 43 kids has autism. Then if we look at southeastern Nigeria, it is 1 out of 125 that is autistic. That's 1 out of 125 children. Now, if we look at the general prevalence for Nigeria, it is 2.3% nationally. So if we look at this particular percentage, it looks very small. And the reason why it is small is because there are so many cases that go undiagnosed and some cases are misdiagnosed. So we have a lot of autism cases that are undiagnosed and some that are misdiagnosed, because a lot of our people attach a lot of spirituality to autism. They see it as a spiritual problem. And most times, rather than take it to the medical personnel, they go to all manner of spiritual homes, believing that that child is not normal, rather than looking at the child from being a special child. So this particular program today is going to help parents who have connected today in understanding that if you have an autistic child in the house, that child is special. There's no need carrying that child here and there to different mountains. It's just for you to understand the child. Just like we said in our opening, it's a neuro behavioral condition. So once we tackle those aspects, you are going to see how the child can get better. Just like we said here, once you can tackle how the child reacts with others very well, how the child communicates very well, how the child can learn very well, and how the child can behave, you'll find out that this neurological developmental disorder can really be brought to check. Now, another reason why we have very low prevalence of this condition in Nigeria is because the resources to carry out aggressive research is really very small. As a matter of fact, there are times researchers go through a lot. For some of us, we go through hell, not getting support from well-meaning Nigerians, not getting support from associations. Most times we have to look outside the country to get support for funding for our research work. So we have a country where research is really not appreciated. We'll see some of our professors in universities today. Their research work are not taken, they are not observed, they are not utilized in Nigeria. But go abroad, go and see how they are utilizing it. A research work I did on leprosy and diabetes and others, even me who did it, then not for the fact that I received small remuneration from it, if I'm to go online to see how I open it, I'm made to pay as if I'm not the owner. So you find people who go to open, you find people appreciating our work. The first time I released that work, within 1 week, it had over 100, within 1 week, it had 150 downloads by students. That's the leprosy. So this is what we keep on talking about. Look at this presentation we do weekly. Only very few of you appreciate it. And that is why you keep on connecting week in, week out. A lot of our Nigerian folks out there are busy doing the things we say should not be done. Now, let's go further. I think I want to appreciate some organizations in Nigeria that are really trying with the issue of autism. GT Bank, for instance, they are really doing a lot, bringing awareness on autism. We have the JC Place Foundation, JPF, and that is really collaborating with some Nigerian health and so many NGOs in bringing this awareness to the public, as well as the Patrick Speech and Language Center that are doing a yeoman's job in all of this. So we are going to go straight and look at the two basic ways you can know that your child is autistic. We are going to look at it from the social angle. Then we are going to look at it from the angle of how the child acts. So let's start with the social angle. Let's go straight and see, how does your child socialize? How does your child socialize? If you have a child at home, please, as parents, watch keenly how that child socializes. Let's start with the toddlers. That's those from 1 year to 3 years. Let's look at them. How would you know a child a year to 3 years, a toddler, is autistic? Number one way of knowing is that when you are directing a child to pick something, the child will not follow your gaze. Let's assume you are pointing at something for the child to see or look at. The child will not follow your gaze to look at that thing. That's number one. Number two, when you call an autistic toddler, the child might not respond to his name or her name. Meanwhile, a child of 1 year to 3 years that is not autistic, once you just mention that name, they look at you immediately. Meanwhile, for autistic children, they don't respond. That's number two way of knowing an autistic child. Now, when you place a toddler 1 year to 3 with another child, and they are playing with their little games, you find out that an autistic child may not be interested in playing with this other child. Rather, this autistic child may prefer playing alone. And if this other child wants to play with him or her, he may rebuff or withdraw from such a child. So as parents, please just take note of some of this. Another way of knowing an autistic child is that they find it difficult sharing probably what they have. They try to keep it to themselves. When you're talking to them, they look away from your eye. They look away from your eye. They will not want to look at you directly. As a parent, you are talking to an autistic child, the child will look away. The child prefers looking somewhere else rather than looking at you eyeball to eyeball. Now, a toddler that's autistic, you may find this toddler, instead of picking something sometimes, might want you as the parent the child might want to use your hand to pick that thing for himself. So just like I said earlier, they like playing by themselves. They don't like playing with others. So if you see a toddler exhibiting any of those signs, then there's need for you as a parent not to get worried, because once you consult the medical personnel, you'll be told how to manage the child. Why? Because first and foremost, for a toddler, you need to tackle those things that he is avoiding, your eye gaze. So there might be need for you to use your palm gently, lovingly, move the face towards you each time you are speaking with the child, so that anytime you say something, the child will look. And you will, as a parent, try to see how you encourage yourself to play with the child. Most parents are too busy going away to work and come back, eat their food and doze off. Leave these toddlers to nannies and so many other people that do not give a damn whether the child has to play with somebody or not. Now let's look at children that are older. Let's look at children that are older, that are above 3 years. say 3 to 10, for instance. If you find them in school, their range of topic knowledge is quite limited and narrow. You find out that they try to avoid taking more tasks. They are comfortable with just a single task. And if you engage them in conversations, their conversations are usually one-sided. They find it extremely difficult to bring several topics into a conversations. And when you meet a child that is autistic, you might find this child sitting very quiet in the sense that he or she is not interested in starting up a conversation. So you might just find yourself trying to make the child talk while you're always the one bringing up a conversation up. Now, there are so many autistic children find it very difficult in expressing their feelings. So even when they feel something, they do not know how to express it. Why? Because they are so withdrawn. They are so withdrawn to themselves. And the only way to get them out is to see how you get them to feel belong, that they are not alone in this world. Another thing that again is that they have understanding body language. You might be trying to use, take for instance, you have a visitor and you are trying to use your eye to let the child know that he or she has to go to his or her room. Believe you me, an autistic child will still be playing right there in the presence of your guest. Why? Because he or she is not picking the message. So they find it difficult understanding body language. So, and because they are not even facing you in the first place, you are in for trouble. So there's really need for us as parents, once we see any child that has any of this behavioral pattern, see how best we can help such a child. Then another thing again we see is you find them repeating songs. They sing in this speak and sing in this monotone like of repetition. So that's another thing we can, as parents, use in identifying autistic children. Now let's look at the adolescents, those from 10 to 19 that are autistic. What do we see with them? As a matter of fact, they still have that same challenge in school, where they devote their energy to what they know best and develop less attention to the ones they do not know, and not wanting to know those ones, or not even making effort to want to know those ones. Then even in the way they interact in school, so they avoid social interactions, they avoid where people are too many, any social gatherings, social functions, you'll find them going away from it. You won't see them there, you won't find them there. Then just like I said, this issue of avoiding eye contact continues even up to adolescent stage. So as parents, if you have adolescents in your home and each time you're talking to them, they do their best to avoid looking at you, then please see how you help them out. Please, rather than rebuke them, see how you can help them. Now, just like I said earlier with those ones that are older than the toddlers, understanding body language still persists with adolescents, where you are trying to make them understand something without speaking, yet they are not getting it. And why are they not getting it? They are not looking at you. So we really need to get them to look at us. Prefer those who are grown-ups to mingle with, or those who are lower in age, younger in age than they are. So that's another way you find, if you find an adolescent child having kids, children younger than his age, him playing with them or she playing with them, then know something is wrong. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. So another thing again, just like I've mentioned, apart from all of these challenges that they have their strengths. Autistic children have their strengths. Now, one thing we understand with them that I said earlier is that they have this habit of repeating words. It's in the medical world, it's called echolalia. That's meaningless repetition of words. That can be harnessed by medical experts and by parents, where these words can be used to become meaningful. And once it becomes meaningful, their ability to keep what they have learned, because one thing with them is that they know how to remain focused. Once their brain is such that once they focus on something, they don't blink their eye. Why? Because they are trying to get the meaning out of that thing. So as this child grows older, the autism tends to diminish. But the that such a child, if he picks any of the
Look, your line is fluctuating.
subject or object, such a child, they have their strength there, even always out, and we want to advise parents not to get disturbed. Well, and another thing with them again is that they tend not to go along with the crowd. They believe in doing their own thing. What you might call wrong might be right to them. What you say right might be wrong to them. The issue of right and wrong does not really impress on them. All they know is that what they are doing follows what their brain is telling them. And they know how they have this ability to express themselves directly and honestly. They have this ability to express themselves directly and honestly. And they can connect very well with people of older ages, younger ages, while as parents you try to see how you help them with their peers, because that is where sometimes they have difficulty. But once that has been handled, you find them finding it very easy to connect with people of all ages. Just like I said, because they have the ability to focus for a long period of time, they tend to get expertise on any topic they are handling. And they have very strong non-verbal reasoning skills. So these are their strengths. So in today's class, as parents, you can see that an autistic child is not a child that you begin to feel that has a spiritual problem. So once you see any child with autism, please, I want to advise that you consult the experts in Super Life, and you'll be properly and you'll be adequately guided. Now let's see some of the likely causes for autism. Let's see some of the likely causes for autism. Once a woman becomes pregnant or is over the age of 35 and she becomes pregnant and she delivers, this might be a likely cause. Because this disease is broad spectrum, medical professionals are looking at it from different areas to see what could be the problem, what could be the challenge. What could be the challenge? Becoming pregnant when you are over age, say 35 and above, becoming pregnant within 12 months of having another baby. You've had a baby and within 12 months you are having another baby. It could be another cause of autism. Gestational diabetes could be a cause. When a mother bleeds during pregnancy can be another cause. Then when the fetus size is small, and so many other factors, like once there are oxygen that goes or that is supplied to the baby. So, and another thing again is if the mother is quite young, like we see in the north, and she's young and she's getting pregnant at a very, very young age. Then lastly, we can relate it to genetics, that's being of genetic origin. Even though research is still ongoing with relation to how genes play a role in the issue of autism. A lot of research is still ongoing in looking at gene as well as inheritance. So at this point, I want to invite my able farm Chilaka, to help us through some of the diagnostics and associated treatment with respect to autism. Farm, please, are you there? Hello, Farm.
Yes, sir. I am here, sir.
Yeah, please, you have.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. My network here is not too
Good evening,
good. I
fam.
don't know
We are with you.
if you can hear me. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
I just add more volume.
Because this is my highest volume. I know the network at this my end here has been a bit bad since morning.
Yeah,
So
Farm, go ahead. We can hear you clearly.
okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. So let's run quickly through the management or diagnostics and treatment patterns for autism. A lot has been said so far, so I will just browse through what we have left. Just to do a recap, we must understand that autism is a genetically imposed neurological disorder, right? There is a genetic mutation, a mutation in the genome, right, of that person that will lead to autism. And doctor has clearly opened our eyes to what autism is all about, and also how to identify patients or people that could have the autism. They can be within the um, autism syndrome or autism spectrum disorder, ASD as it's called. Okay, so autism is not a disease. When we say something is a disease, it means you can basically identify what could be responsible. You can isolate it. Perhaps you can culture. So a disease, you can say, okay, it is caused by so bacterium or so microorganism, or is caused by certain physiological uh, problems, which can be narrowed down, identified, and perhaps solutions preferred or treatments given. But for autism, it is not a disease. And as such, there is really no particular medication that you can say this is to treat autism. Once you are born with it, you have it for life. You understand? There is no medication anywhere in the world that can be used to treat a patient that has autism, or rather cure the person of autism, right? So there is no drug whatsoever. I think that should be clear. So, however, when you encounter a child that is autistic, a lot of parents especially if you have never seen one before. You may not know that that child could be autistic. And so, like doctors said, we have seen people who will now try to, you know, um, maybe use certain religious or spiritual method, all right, to rather correct or understand what could be wrong with that child. But I just want to let you know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with your child. The child is just basically autistic, and there are ways to manage their excesses or challenges that may come from them. So basically, like I've said, it cannot be cured, right? So it's just as you are now. It's like me saying I want to take a medication to cure myself of myself. So it is practically impossible. So there is no medication, there is no drug anywhere to treat or to cure anyone of autism. It's a genetic problem, so you can't change it. It is there, it is there, right? But there are ways to also maybe manage the challenges that may be presented, you know, with this problem of autism, right? And it is important that we know some of these things or methods on how to manage such situations, because there are two things you want to look at. You want to see how these people, autistic individuals, have a very serious problem with communication and socialization. They do not know how to communicate. It means they find it difficult to understand how you're feeling or what you're saying, especially when it is in non-verbal interaction. It's not something they can easily understand, right? And they find it difficult to interact or to socialize. All right. Um, there are examples of specific therapies that can be adopted or used, all right, to manage patients or wards that are autistic, right? Examples of these therapies include behavioral therapies like the applied behavior analysis. Now, this analysis, um, it's quite broad. You want to see certain behavioral patterns of such person, all right, um, that you want to see or in an autistic person, right? So number two, you have family therapy. The reason why we have family therapy is because a lot of times, because these people, autistic patients or individuals, let me not call them patients, individuals, because they are not sick, right? They are not sick. They are just autistic, right? So they have problem with interaction, and of course, the first set of people they tend to interact with, all right, are the family members, siblings, parents. Do you understand? So there are certain kind of therapies that are being carried out to help family members find a way to understand, you know, their wards that could be autistic, and also help the autistic individuals to also know how to maybe learn to uh, communicate better or socialize. And then there's also, uh, excuse me, There are also speech therapies. Speech therapies, because one of the challenges they also have is speech. All right. Some of them have difficulty in their speech. I mean, they find it difficult to pronounce words, to speak audibly, or to speak correctly. You understand? And so you may need some kind of speech therapy to actually teach them to know how to speak. There are people who are not autistic, but may also have speech problems. There are certain children that are born like that. Not as if they are not dumb, all right? They are not mute, but they find it difficult to speak. And when they are even speaking, you can barely hear them or understand what the child is trying to say. And so it's important that as a parent, you must, in fact, this topic is broadly for parents, because we are the ones dealing with these children, dealing with these people. But it's also important that we know this, whether you're a parent or not. Perhaps you may have brothers, sisters, or relation whose child could also be autistic. So the speech therapy is very important. So like I said, there are people who are not autistic and they also have speech difficulties or difficulties in speaking, right? For example, myself, I find it difficult to speak when I was still tender. I think I started speaking when I was 3 years, right? So for the first 2 years of my life, I couldn't speak any words. So my parents thought I was going to be how do we call it, dumb, right, or mute. So I couldn't speak. I couldn't I couldn't speak. So, but with time, I was able to improve. And today now, I am a talker, and I give God the glory that I can talk with I can speak and people can understand what I'm saying, right? So another thing is occupational therapy. Occupational therapy, one way to also manage these people or these very special people is to get them busy. They are very special kids. They are so talented and gifted. A lot of these autistic kids, if properly managed, they are far better than some of us who are in quotes, non-autistic or normal, right? So because they have a very high degree of focusing on one particular thing at a time. And by the time they are committed, they focus, they get a very, they do things that the ordinary mind may find it difficult to do. They have a very powerful imaginative skill. All right. When you have an autistic patient, rather an autistic person, individual who is, say, a surgeon, they have the ability to pretty much view, have a like a pictorial view, all right, of any surgical process, all right, that they want to go into. Like if they are to run any surgery, maybe phlectomy, or any kind of surgery whatsoever, they have the ability to picture it and see it play out. They have a very high visual ability and skill to visualize texts, right? I don't know how you read. Sometimes when we are reading, we try to imagine these things. If you are studying the Bible, for example, you were not there in the Old Testament, even in the New Testament when these things happened. And one of the things you do as a minister, not just a minister, as a Bible student, is that when you read some of these stories, you may pause for a while to imagine what played out. And it is this imaginative skills that is being used by producers, script writers, content creators to produce a lot of interesting and powerful films. Now, but this thing is also highly embedded in autistic individuals. They have a very high degree of streamlining their focus to one thing and getting the very best out of it, right? So occupational therapy is quite very engaging. Get them engaged, get them involved in certain things, and you will see them coming out very good, right? Now, um, some autistic kids have other conditions that need support or treatment. Now, like I've said, it's not a disease. However, there are other challenges that may come with these individuals, and so it is these challenges, right, that could be managed or treated, right? Some of them may have other neurological complications that may accompany this autism. The person has autism and all the associative um, neurological conditions or health conditions. So we also need to manage or suppress those other neurological problems or health issues. Number one, you have the attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You know, this is a neurological problem, all right? And it occurs where someone finds it difficult to pay attention. And the same person also wants you to give them maximum attention, right? And when they when they are communicating to you or discussing with you, they don't want you to deviate from whatever they are discussing, right? They go deeper into every discussion you bring up. They go into details. You understand? But again, this is a neurological disorder. It's a problem when someone can't uh, really give you attention. Do you understand? And sometimes they get somewhat aggressive. And so there are certain medications that are actually given to suppress this problem. And then we also have patients that may have anxiety. All right, anxiety. This is also a mental issue. Mental issue. We also have food intake disorders, uh, conduct disorder. We have bipolar. All right, these are all some neurological and some psychological issues that could be associated with um, with autism. All right, the next slide, please. So we also have schizophrenia, spectrum disorder. We have insomnia or sorry, sleep disorders. So all these are basic mental health or neurological uh, problems that could also be more or less co-factors or co-occurring, with autism. So even though you cannot treat or cure the patient of autism, these other problems can actually, there are medications to manage them. There are medications to manage them. For example, schizophrenia, you can use Inviga Sustina. Inviga Sustina is a brand from Johnson and Johnson and is sold for over 300,000 for the uh, the 100 milligram is 287, 210 naira. That is the wholesale price for the medication to treat patients of it can't, it's just to manage them anyways. So you see that these neurological disorders, they are very difficult. I mean, they are the medications are quite expensive. And that is why when you see poor man or a poor person having this problem, the people just resort to spiritual help. They run from church to church, or they take them to native doctors to manage these problems. Or they say it is spiritual problem, and they want to use prayer to arrest the thing, whereas it's a neurological problem. You understand? And because these things are actually not cheap, they are not cheap to manage. For you to have a rehab for a patient a person who has suffered from addiction, you spend not less than 3 million naira or 2 million in some cases. Do you understand? And so when you just walk into any mental health clinic, you can go to Yaba neuropsychiatric clinic and find out the cost of all these medications. They are not cheap. They are not cheap at all. So these are problems again that could be associated with autism. We also have there are other things the HCP can help you manage, which is the cognitive behavioral therapy, and then they can also refer you to proper schools that are specialized in managing such special kids. Now, I want to wrap it up here. Now, the problem we have is a child is autistic. That child is not meant, there are special schools for those kind of kids, or perhaps there are special teachers for those kind of kids. If you put that child in the hands of a wrong teacher that is not fit or trained to manage that child, you will destroy that child's potential. Autistic kids are very gifted, very highly gifted, very highly gifted. In fact, when you see the things they do, you wish sometimes that you have one. I'm telling you this for free. They are very highly gifted. But if they are guarded by terrible parents or parents who are not ready to take the necessary steps on how to manage these kind of individuals, they'll fall victim of serious problems, right? So I want to encourage us, if you have anybody or you know someone who could be going through these problems, it's important that you encourage the parents or whoever is handling them to take them to special schools or get them special teachers to, train them and help them manage their excesses and some of the challenges that they present, with this problem. Yeah. So, like I said, there are no medications. There are no medications anywhere to treat or manage any patient of autism. The best we can do is to manage or handle or treat some of the associative neurological disorders that may accompany autism. And a lot of these problems we have mentioned in previous classes, right? We've talked about most of them. So there are no definite, you cannot cure any patient of autism, right? So that is why I might not be talking about any medication or any drug to manage. I think the whole essence of this class tonight is for us to be aware, to create an awareness that this problem is real, or this is the situation. And so that when we have kids with this kind of problems, you would start noticing it within 18 months. Within 18 months, a year and 6 months after the child is born. There are certain analyses that will be conducted by the doctor, and there are special questionnaires that are used. I think that's the WHO standard. It's like a questionnaire in which questions will be asked, and then you tick them. So from the answers you give, all right, the answers you give will now and determine or inform the HCP whether the person is autistic or not. There are no blood samples collected. It's not a disease. So the patient's blood sample won't be collected, or rather not the patient, the individual's blood sample, it will not be collected. It's not a disease. You're not testing for anything internal. Whatever you're going to do will be a physical examination based on questions that will be asked and answered, right? So that's it. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. The Farmer Chinaka, can you hear me? Thank you, Dr. Rove. I think we have really, personally, is an eye-opener, today's workshop. But thank God, those related health conditions that are associated with it, that could really, once it's being handled, I saw something like epilepsy and other related. We want Coach Sampson to really come in to see how God have used this our company, to really provide solution that can do a whole lot in order to. Coach Sampson, are you there? Those
Yes,
mechanism
yeah,
of action.
I saw Dr. Chooks on the Zoom call. I don't know if he's available.
Okay, let me. Doc, are you here, Dr. Chooks? That's our able doctor that God have used to package the manual. I don't know, Dr. Chooks, are you? Whether network.
Okay. Yeah. If he comes online, he will also also add some of his own knowledge to this topic. Like you have just heard from the doctor and the farmer, autism is a neurological disorder. A neurological disorder. I think that has to do with the brain. And though there are some of the challenges associated with it, which are like what the director just said, some of them are having some crisis. Because I know a few people that have the autistic side. Like Farmer just said now, they are very, very brilliant children. I'm telling you, I know one very well. And I'm telling you that you're talking about him and he said he's doing very, very well. Even he's a prefect in school. Very brilliant. So, but like you said, it's a disorder. They are special children, but it takes a lot of effort to really manage them, to get the best from them. So most times, because they are special children, you don't treat them like other children. You have to give them special attention to be able to manage them. And if you can do this, you can actually get the best out of them. Though there are some challenges associated with this disorder, which can be a challenging thing for from other people, from some people. So that is why we have SC30 and SNC recommended for these challenges, so that all these associated challenges can be taken care of with our plant-based stem cell product SC30 and our SNC, the neurological disorder product, neuron care, super neuron care is mainly for neurological disorder and any other kind of neurological problems, which autism also falls into that category. And like we said, uh, having understand these children and how special they are, so we can manage them properly with all the therapy and guide, and with also our product. So that's why so like doctor, when he started, I was talking to Oga, said some of even we have it among elderly people, those that were having it, and the parents were not able, particularly in this part of the world, they were unable to identify the challenges as autism, and they were taking them for spiritual problems. I have several people like that I know up to today. Some of them are even grown more than 50 years, and they still having these challenges because the challenges were not treated, was took for spiritual challenges. And one day, me and one of my staff were talking. He said, "You know that this is a person that they were thinking he has a spiritual problem. Is really is autism is the problem, that he's autistic. I'm telling you." So, and we have several like that, particularly in this part of the world, that people have found them to be spiritual challenges, and they have managed them wrongly, and now some of them has become a problem or challenges for liability.
Coach Samson, I think Dr. Chooks is on ground. Doc,
Okay,
I just started him. I think network. Let's know whether his network is. Doc, good evening, sir. Hello, Doc. Dr. Chooks.
So, until when it comes in, so for abundance of those now on our Zoom call tonight, we have our SCC30, and we have the recommendations on how we can use it as a therapy to manage any autistic child or autistic person, because it's not only we are, like I said, based on the experience as well. I've seen, I know that some that we started mostly from childhood, but because of improper management, these are related to serious challenges that grow with them to the old age, and some of them has become a serious problem for the family because of this inability to manage them proper. So even if they are still having some of them like that, our product help them to manage some challenges associated with this disorder. So SCC30 being a stem cell product has ability to correct some of the disorder in the neurons in the brain, and this will help in the management of autistic patient or child or person very well. And the small neuron care being a neurological disorder supplementation also has ability, because one of the SNC, particularly the STEMIN, the DHL, it is mainly for the growth of the brain. It helps the growth of the brain. So, of the growth of the cells of the brain, or tissues of the brain, the growth tissues of the brain so much, and this can help in the management of autistic children or autism generally. So I want to say this. I want to congratulate anyone that is on our Zoom call tonight, having any family member or even having challenges of autism, that with our product and the proper management, on observations, you can get the best out of these challenges, and the person will even best and behave and do proper like other children or like other persons. And we should no longer see it as a spiritual challenges, but a mere or a serious, or let me say mere neurological disorder or medical challenges, which can be managed properly through a proper, taking care of them or management of these challenges using our Super Life product. So thank you very much. I don't know if
Dr. Schultz, the network has taken him out. Once he's in the field. So thank you, Coach Sampson, for at least we knowing that the Almighty God has given us something in a natural way, just like our products always say, is inspired by nature, realized by science. The plant-based stem cell technology is a unique therapy. It has never been. And is now evolving. And that's why when some issues that are in this nature, whether genetic, take for instance, I could remember in the year, that should be 2019, somebody connected a leader to sickle cell home in Delta State. So at that point, we released some samples to them to use there. They discovered that those that they place it on, the frequent crises they used to have, just after using it for a period of time, disappeared. Those ones that used it, and that's the reason, one of the most reasons why you discover that our products, a lot of gullible Nigerians now hijacked it and began to fake it, bring in fake, because those ones began to go to pharmaceutical stores in search of the product. I remember at that early time, there has been a very, very scarcity of our products. So it gave them the access to go and fake, bring all manner of things, which when a lot of them began to go to pharmaceutical stores to have it, they really, really couldn't understand what is going on again. So, but at that point, we don't really have a NAFDAC certification. So we are not making any campaign. We are not going out to confront whosoever. But thank God that last year, 2024, that NAFDAC Nigeria has taken a very wonderful step to certify all our products, including the one you are seeing right now here, which is the STC30 that happens to be our flagship product, and the SNC, the Neuron Care. There are a lot attached to this product. Why I'm so excited about it is that this Dr. Chooks that we thought, if not network, the first time I met him in 2023, he told me that at the early time of he met this product, he reluctantly, because before that time he had taken so many other products that was popular before that time to their lab. And the result they came out from was so poor. None of them met the requirements. That when he saw our products 2 years as out of 2023, he took he bought some samples and took it to their lab. That number one, he discovered that all the active ingredients that Superlife quoted that they have, that is right inside this product, that all of them are present. That was the first attention that this product attracted towards him. Then they went further again to check the milligram, meaning that each of those active ingredients, they now discovered that as the company prescribed, that is exactly what they found. He said that was what gave him and his team to stay with Superlife. Until last year now and again, the 4 different consultants which he spearheaded, they are the one that came up with that manual. Their signature is on that manual. This is our Superlife Health Manual. that is just like a doctor in your hand. And I discovered when we are to discuss this about this topic, he made mention that this is not a disease, just like the way Dr. Rove has said, just like the way Famachinaka has said. He has lent his voice. In short, I have a recorded speech of Dr. Chooks with me that because I asked him to record it, that information that he is saying. He recorded it and sent to me. That is not a disease. All of them have said it the same thing, meaning that truly, but other related things attached to it or whatever, by the way, or thereabouts. These are the things that this product is to come and solve. Just like in the case of that sickle cell home in Delta State. The crisis, if you ask me, somebody called me when they saw our adverts. He asked me, will this thing make either the AS to become AA? I said, I have not seen it. But the one I know is that the crises that are associated with sickle cell anemia, for those who really follow the therapy and with the duration, you will see that it will vanish. And that is the major thing that really carry a lot of worry to the parents of any sickle cell anemia. That's the main thing. So if this product, God can use it to handle such issues that orthodox or the best hospitals in the world will tell you that there's no solution. Or there's no, of course, it's incurable and what have you. But it has placed a measurable solution to it. So please, we can take our time, just like Dr. Chooks and his team took their time, use their own background where they are from to investigate, to cross-check. So, and now that their signature is in that manual, I took it to Super Life World Leadership Event in Cape Town, South Africa, November last year. I tell us it gained a global attention. A global attention. I don't want to talk about even the copies I took there, how it was rushed. And we are working on a French version of it. So please make out time and get that manual. That manual is a doctor in your hands. It has a lot. Then going by the one I mentioned, like a fake, that fake is still there, but in a reduced level now, because since NAFDAC number came out now, we have begun to make a public statement. One of its kind is the bigger statement we made September 7th, 2024. We gathered medical experts from different fields at Radisson Blu. It's a 5-star hotel at Azik John, Ikeja GRA, 7th of September last year, 2024. And all of them in unison speaking one language, that any product that has ability to target to the have access to the cellular level, that product, such a product, can even raise the dead. That's quote and unquote. It has the capacity to reverse every irreversible. It has the capacity. You cannot limit what such a product can do. So now, with what testimonies we have had recorded 2018, 2019, and most importantly in 2020, during pandemic, I want to let us know, those of us that are knowing about this product at this point in time, in 2020, when the whole world, because of pandemic, shut down, a lot of individuals, high-profile individuals that used to travel out of the country on a hospital tourism with their terminal health issues, many of them were locked in. But few number of them that discovered our product, this STC30, not only that they survived the pandemic period, but the post-pandemic, meaning that after pandemic, they have no reason to go on hospital tourism, because those cases that have been taking them out, whether every 6 months or yearly out or whatever, they use this product and it solves it and they don't have it any longer. I have so many of them that are reaching out now, connecting their loved ones wherever. So for us to make it easier, please, for now, we don't have any MOU with any pharmacy, because that was where the dumping ground of fake products. That has been the dumping ground. Innocently, if there is a pharmaceutical store where you have been buying your stuff, you could go there, you see a sample of this our product there, you will innocently think is the original. Please, I stand to tell you that it's fake. If any pharmaceutical store have any MOU with us, I will still announce it. We are going to advertise it in all our platforms, because it's very, very dangerous when you are using a fake product sublingual. It kills faster. It multiplies in short, it increases the effect of the sickness, the negative effect. So please, even if you receive it dash, somebody dash you, not that you have even committed one dime, don't take it. So that's why we have been making that. If you go in by that September 7 event, a lot of media houses came to cover it. It was like a disclaimer. That event was, we use it as a disclaimer. So do me a favor, just write down 13th of September, then Punch newspaper. You can go online on 13th of September, Punch newspaper. Then you will now, the tag was celebration of plant-based stem cell technology in Nigeria. Go online on the 13th of September. That was when the Punch themselves streamline it. You will see it there. And you see that disclaimer that we don't have any relationship. We have only 3 directors in Nigeria to dispense this product. My humble self, Mama Africa, reside in Abuja, then Director Kombi in Benin City. Any other source outside this 3, you're on your own. And I pray that God will help you, so that instead of you using your money, no matter how much, to get something that will harm you the more, God forbid. So now, if you are to get this product, you are not meant to buy it from somebody. You are meant to be connected to the company. Just, it requires any of government licensed ID card, whether NIN or voter's card or driver's license or data page of your international passport. Any of this valid ID card and your valid email address. We will connect you to the company, register you as a customer. Then you will get the first package. Then the subsequent repurchase, you are going to be repurchasing them at the company's discounted price. So don't be afraid. You are buying it directly from the company cost. Even in Nigeria, we have a mechanism that we put in place. We reduced the cash out of our bonuses. And that is where the leaders, members in Nigeria are contributing to the society. Whatever package you are buying in Nigeria, like this STC 30, that currently the price is 2 packets is 90,200 on registration. If it were what it should be, it's supposed to be ×2, because the normal price in dollar is $110 right from inception. The company has never changed their price from the beginning, from the onset. So if we are to go by $110 and you are to multiply $110 by 1,005 plus or minus, you will agree with me that it's more than 90,200. But we just decided to reduce our bonus cash out in order to by almost 50%. So today, I want to stand to tell us that the package prices that we have in Nigeria remain the best all over the world. It remains the best. Maybe with time, we can dig into that. Now, what we are working on now is how to begin to support those who already have health issue, those who are already in the therapy, because some therapy might be 90 days, some might be higher than 90 days, depending on the situation. Now, knowing the financial implication, we are yet to have the Super Life Foundation in Nigeria. You could remember now that when Farmer was talking, he mentioned about a foundation that are trying to reduce the costs, that a particular drug is almost 300,000 naira, and for you to get a complete dose might be over 2 to 3 million naira. So as it stands, our Super Life Foundation is yet to be here. And I believe that by the way we have started moving out and we have begun to have adoption of different organizations, we are going to attract the Super Life Foundation. But before then, we have a support system. I want to say it again. We have a support system for those who are going to use it for their therapy in order to come out of whatever is the terminal ailment, whether autism, whether all the other cases we have treated in the time past, like cancer, like whatever. We have treated a lot, which you can go to our YouTube, Super Life Lagos or Super Life Revolution. Go to YouTube. So many of the past workshops has been uploaded there. And I believe this one too will be there after today. So please feel free so that you will have that kind of support. Then if you choose to do the business, which I will subscribe, we as a team will begin to support you to start raising bonuses. From out of your bonuses, you will be taking money to buy, to repurchase the one you are using to maintain. But the ultimate goal of this workshop, the ultimate goal that why God brought us Super Life is that you and I should be on a preventive side. Meaning that if you are not having any health terminal now, are you supposed to be using Super Life products? The answer is yes. Like this STC30 and this SNC. Do you know that they always look at Pakistan disease, loss of memory as the old age syndrome sickness? Do you know that if you begin to use our product now, the health condition that may be associated with age syndrome, you can be exempted. I say we can be exempted. And that's why God has made this available. I see this product as a powerful, exotic food and is highly medicinal. The nutrient density, you and I cannot get it from the food that we eat day by day. So that's the reason why I am calling us to be on the business side, which we are going to hold your hands and walk along that business side, just for you to be your brother's keeper. You see somebody that is having issues, report, let the person know, bring the person to us. Let's support the person where we can and begin to see the testimony. So I want to cap it here. The packages, like I said, the start package is 90,200. The promo super package is 451,000. The main super package is 902,000. And you are going to get the product, the required product, the number, the quantity that covers the money that you have paid, after which the next is repurchase. So thank you very much and for making it tonight. Please, if tonight is your first time, let the person that invited you send your number to us, because we are going to incentivize you with our data incentive on or before the next meeting. It's always by every Friday by 8 p.m. But our Zoom room opens 10 minutes to 8, which is 7:50 p.m. So as many that we join the Zoom before 8 p.m., you are going to receive data incentive. And we have been doing that for over 30 months. It's only in rare cases that we have network issue. Very, very, very rare cases. So please, you are highly welcome. And again, I want to let us know as well that our international trip is almost here. We have 3 international trips this year. Even if today is your first time of joining this Zoom meeting, and you have desire to travel outside the country at all expense paid, almost all expense paid. And I can tag it to be all expense paid because the system is going to generate the money for you. So we're this year now, in the month of May, we are going to embark on a Malaysian trip. The company wants us to come on a second missionary journey to Malaysia. We were in Malaysia in 2003. So that was when the company launched their ultra-modern factory. Ultra-modern factory, where they are producing all these products we are seeing. So they want us to come and see how that factory has been upgraded. Because the kind of all the countries that they are servicing now is very wonderful. So, and they want us to explore Malaysia to see the city of Malaysia, how colorful and how mega they are. That is in the month of May. So by next month now, we are going to know the dates precise. Then the second international trip is going to be in the month of July. So if you have joined the bandwagon now and begin to move, you can target the one of July. And that July is where? July is Thailand, Bangkok. So please get yourself. You are making your health to be wonderful, to be super. And you are creating wealth. So it's going to be Thailand, Bangkok in the month of July. Then the last international trip for the year 2025 is going to be in the month of November. And that November is going to be Turkey. That's Istanbul. Istanbul. That is Europe. That should be the second Europe where the Super Life is taking their leaders. The first time was in Switzerland. That is where we visited Mibai Biochemistry. The very biochemistry that God revealed about the miracle apple in their topmost mountain, high altitude. A miracle apple, a species of apple that if you pluck it and slice it into pieces and leave it in an open place without any preservation, come back in the next 6 months, that apple will not change color and that apple will not rot. Have you ever seen that kind of apple? That is the apple that with German grape. These are the ones that they are patented when you are talking about plant-based stem cell therapy. It is the combination of apple and the grape that they use. They are the only company, biochemistry, that owns it. They patented it. So that is what they discovered. They use phytoscience technology, to discover that God or nature deposited a lot of stem cell into the apple. And such stem cell can impact in our human stem cell. And that is the game changer. So thank you. Time is fast spent. I don't think, I don't know whether there's any question on the chat room. Hello, Coach Samson. Do we have any question?
There's a question here.
I want to return the platform to Dr. Rove. Please, Dr. Rove, please. I'm returning the platform.
Okay, there is a question.
I read out the question.
I said, can a child of 3 to 4 years be given this product to correct autistic or speech-related illness? That's the question. No, it's yes. Let me just quickly say something, so doctor will also add to it. Superlife SCC30 particularly is a product that can be used by anybody except a pregnant woman. So particularly the SC30. So a child of 3 to 4 years can use it, but we recommend that it will be half sachet in the morning and half sachet in the evening to complete a dose. So, and this will correct that speech impairment or any other crisis associated with speech challenge in that child. Thank you.
Any other question? In absence of no any other question, please can we unmute ourselves for the grace in fellowship?